Okay. Today's topic is steady state analysis. We cannot say exactly it is a steady state analysis. All the topics what we are studying by default is steady state only. Only thing is in this topic, we analyze the circuit with AC sources. DC analysis, we analyzed the circuit with the DC sources. In AC circuits, we are analyzing means finding current, voltage, power, etc. with the AC sources. Source can be voltage, source can be current, it can be dependent or independent, and so on. So it is instead of saying exactly steady state analysis is a by default valid. AC analysis, I can say. The actual heading of this module topic is AC analysis only. So that heading is exactly suitable to here. So I can call it as AC analysis. AC analysis. Analysis means finding voltage, current, power, etc. with AC source. And whatever analysis we are doing, it is in steady state. Transient analysis with AC also we do it separately. Only in the transient topic we study transient analysis. All other topics by default what we are studying is steady state only. So any network when we are applying input it contain or it will give output, but this output will contain transient plus steady state. Transient once die out, then only we get a steady state. So in reality, what is coming first is transient, but just for our convenient sake, we are studying steady state, and this transient will come later. So transient is tough because it is value is changing with time. Steady state is a one; it remain even at t equal to infinite. So its response will not change. So that's why steady state is easy comparing with the transient. So this is the model problem I am taking. This problem is equivalent to thousands of problems. We can do a lot of work on this problem. So I have taken one AC voltage source, root 32 cos 10 power 5t plus 45. Resistor is there, inductor is there, capacitor is there. Here in this inductor, we have to find current I of t. So find current I of t is the question. And this is a AC current source, 2 cos 10 power 5t. This is 2 sin 10 power 5t is another AC current source. Of course, this is the ground. So question is to find I of t. So any circuit, there is a common procedure. All AC circuit analysis, a common procedure is designed. So first let me go through these steps, then explain how to apply these steps on this problem. Later I will explain how these points came. What is the theory behind each statement. So first one is see that all sources are having same frequency. So 10 power 5, 10 power 5, 10 power 5. All are having same frequency. So see that all are having same frequency. That is the first one, satisfied. See that all sources are having same form. That is either sine form or cos form. But these two sources are in cos form, whereas this is in sine form. So we have to change all sources into any one of the form, either sine or cos. Generally, normal practice, we take it in sine form. So I can change cos into sine. So what is the equivalent to? I am 2, I can say 2 sine 10 power 5t plus 90 degrees. So this changed into sine. This is also root 32 cos sine 10 power 5t plus 90. 90 plus 45, 135. So second, see that all sources are in same form. Third one, convert all sources into phasor form. Convert all sources into phasor form. So what is the phasor equivalent? Phasor equivalent. So this phasor equivalent is 2 by root 2. Phasor means we have to convert into RMS. So 2 by root 2 angle 0. This is also equal to root 2 angle 0. Whereas here 2 by root 2 angle of 90, which is equal to root 2 angle of 90. Similarly, this one root 32 by root 2 angle of 135. It is equivalent to 4 angle of 135. So this third statement done. Convert all sources into phasor form. By default phasor form means R of angle theta. But generally phasor form, this must be in RMS. The next, replace inductor with j omega L, capacitor with 1 by j omega C. So what is inductive reactance? XL. XL equal to j omega L, that is j, what is omega? 10 power 5 into L, 20 micro, so 10 power minus 6. Simplify, you will get to 2J ohms. Similarly, capacitive reactance minus J by omega C. Omega is 10 power 5, C is 10 microfarad, 10 power minus 6. Simplify, you get to minus J ohms. So inductive reactance is 2J ohms. Capacitive reactance is minus J ohms. So this next one is replace inductor with j omega L, capacitor with 1 by j omega C. If all sources are having same frequency, then we can apply superposition principle to find voltage, current, but not power. However, don't use superposition principle to find voltage or current due to more time. I will explain this later. What is the question in this case? Find current I of t. So to find current I of t, what are the techniques we are already familiar? Voltage division, current division, etc. This is one of the techniques. Can we use this technique, voltage division, current division? Here, no, because it contains more than one source. So this is no use. We can apply nodal, we can also apply mesh. Okay, then third one is star delta, and fourth one source transformation. Can we use star delta? This will form a star. Can we change into delta? This star we can't change into delta. I told one don'ts of this. What is important to don't? Wherever we are finding the response, that element should not be disturbed by source transformation as well as star delta transformation. So these two techniques you can't apply wherever we are finding the response. So 2j minus j2, undoubtedly it will form a star, but don't change into delta because we are finding current in this inductor. This element should not be disturbed. Then source transformation, no use. This current you can't change into voltage. This voltage you can't change into current because series resistance is not there here, parallel resistance not there. So source transformation also no use. So these two techniques no use. Then fifth one we studied superposition principle. Superposition principle or superposition theorem remain same. So what is the superposition principle here? Uh, Keep this source alone, find current I1, this source alone, I2, this source alone, I3, then I equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. That is called as a superposition principle. But here, if all sources are having same frequency, we can apply superposition principle to find voltage current but not power. I will explain why it is not for power. However, don't use superposition principle to find voltage or current due to more time. Why it is taking more time? I1 because of this source alone will take 5 minutes. I2 because of this source will take another 5 minutes. I3 because of this source it will take another 5 minutes. Then I equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. That addition of AC sources will take another 5 minutes. So total effectively it takes 20 minutes. But if you solve using mesh analysis, it will take just 5 minutes. So that's why I said don't use superposition principle to find voltage or current due to more time. So in principle we can apply. Because of more time, I said don't use this. And node aligned mesh also, what is it, how to apply, where not to apply. Where not to apply, that I will discuss in this topic. So if also the sixth statement, if all sources are having different frequencies, if all sources are having different frequencies, then we should use only superposition principle to find voltage, current and power. However, we can't express voltage and current in closed form. So if frequencies are different, this is 10 power 4, 10 power 5, 10 power 6. When frequencies are different, we should use only superposition principle. We should not use nodal, we should not use mesh. What is the biggest drawback of nodal and mesh analysis? When sources are having different frequencies, we cannot apply nodal analysis or mesh analysis. What is the reason? Inductive reactance, capacitive reactance depends on the source frequency. If it is 10 power 4, this is 10 power 5, this is 10 power 6. Which frequency you consider? So that is the ambiguity. Therefore, frequencies are different. Nodal mesh, such a powerful tool, fail. In that case, superposition principle is a small technique that will be helpful to solve the problem. So again, I am reading this sixth statement. If all sources are having different frequencies, then we should use only superposition principle to find voltage, current, and power. However, we can't express voltage and current in closed form. So expression of voltage or current contain so many frequency terms. When frequencies are different, you can't add them. So that is the philosophy. So all frequencies are same. We can use superposition principle in principle, but it takes more time. If frequencies are different, undoubtedly use only superposition principle to analyze the problem. So these are the six statements. These are the six statements I explained. Now these first four already applied and fifth, sixth explained. So finally, which method we can apply? This comes under all frequencies are same na. When all frequencies are same, so best option is nodal and mesh only. So let us solve this problem using either nodal analysis or mesh analysis. Which one is best? Nodal is best or mesh is the best? So it is containing two current sources. Two current sources means two super meshes. When two super meshes, one super node is there, super meshes are dominating. When super meshes are dominating, mesh analysis is the best. And if you solve by nodal, it takes 20 minutes. If you solve by mesh analysis, it takes only 5 minutes. So the selection also very, very important. So first let me explain using mesh analysis. So again problem, this is 4 of 135, is root 2 of 90, root 2 of 0, 2j minus j. Okay, so first here mesh analysis, using mesh analysis. If it is a mesh analysis, what is the current distribution method? Na? So what is the current here? This current is root 2 angle 0. This current is I. So what is the current here? Root 2 angle 0 minus I. So this current is root 2 angle 90. And these two are added up here. That is root 2 angle 0 minus I plus root 2 of 9. So here plus I minus I cancel. Then root 2 angle 0 plus root 2 angle 9. So that will go here. Now how many unknowns we come across? Only I of t. One unknown, one mesh equation. This mesh equation not possible because of current source. This mesh also not possible because of current source. This mesh is possible because no current source. So straight away that equation is written. That equation is written. So what is that equation here? What is the current here? Root 2 0 minus I plus root 2 90. That is multiplied with minus j. And here minus 2j into I. Whereas here 4 of angle 135. So this is the mesh equation equal to 0. And using calci, solve for I. Solve for I. Here it is small I. Always magnitude angle is small. Okay, 2 angle 45. So everywhere small I only. Don't use capital I. Everywhere small I. Now when you are converting, this is in phasor form. This is in phasor. But we want answer in trigonometric form. 2 is RMS na. So 2 root 2 is maximum. We have taken sine as a reference. Sine 10 power 5t plus 45 is the answer. So just one equation, one unknown. It takes 5 minutes to solve. The same problem, if we use nodal analysis, what is the technique I told earlier? First identify number of unknowns. So what is the voltage here? VA. What is voltage here? VB, unknown. VA, VB, unknown. The voltage here is known. Why known? This is known. So start here, go to ground following CGR KVL sign convention. Minus 4 of angle 135 plus VA is the voltage here. And because only voltage source between these two nodes, it will form a super node. So one equation is at the super node. Second equation is at normal node. This is a normal. So write one equation here, two unknowns, two equations. So just go through these equations. Nodal analysis, we have done good work earlier, and the same logic I am using. So write these two equations and solve for VAVB. After solving for VAVB, then find out what? I. What is the I? VA minus VB by 2J. So substitute and simplify, you get this. This again convert into trigonometric form, you will get the same answer. So this nodal approach takes more time because of two unknowns, two equations. This is the division form, it takes more time. So nodal will take 20 minutes, mesh will take 5 minutes. So that's why which method you are selecting is also important. So this is how AC circuit can be analyzed. So sixth statement, what is the sixth statement I said earlier? When frequencies are different, maybe this is 10 power 4 and this is 10 power 5, this is 10 power 6. So how do you find current I of t? So first you take superposition principle. When source frequencies are different, compulsorily we should use only superposition principle. So this frequency 10 power 4 now inductive reactance will change, capacitive reactance will change, this voltage source short, this current source open. It is a single source problem. Analyze for I1 with the source. Then second case, when it is 10 power 5, then inductive reactance remain 2J, capacitive reactance remain minus J. This current source open, this current source open. Again comes under single source problem. Analyze for I2. Then analyze for I3 with only current source, but frequency is 10 power 6. Then again recalculate inductive reactance and capacitive reactance with the frequency of 10 power 6 and find out I3. So I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. So finally I of t contain I1 plus I2 plus I3. But how this I1 looks like? Some plus or minus A1 sin 10 power 4t plus or minus theta 1. Then how the I2 looks like? A2 sin 10 power 5t plus or minus theta 2. Then I3 answer looks like A3 sin 10 power 6t plus or minus theta 3. So this A1, A2, A3, if you really solve, you will be knowing theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 also. You will be knowing the format looks like this and this cannot be added. Why it cannot be added? Because of different frequencies. If all frequencies are same, 10 power 5, 10 power 5, 10 power 6, using phasor form, we can add them. Using phasor form, we can add them. That's what we already discussed in average and RMS topic. Frequencies are same. We should use only phasor form. But here frequencies are different. We can't combine. Just leave it as is. So this is the in general procedure. So let me revise again. See that all sources are having same frequency. If all are having same frequencies, repeat second step, third, fourth, and fifth. If source frequencies are different, to directly jump to sixth step. This is sixth one. This is sixth step. This is fifth one. This is fourth. This is third. This is second. This one is first. So if all frequencies are different, to directly jump to sixth one. If all frequencies are same, then go to second, third, and fourth, fifth. And the second one, see that all sources are in same form, either sine or cos. If you change all sources into sine form, end answer we have to express in which form? End answer in sine form. This sine, if you want, you can change into cos again. So it is not a compulsory rule that everything should be in sine. It can be in cos also. Then convert all sources into phasor form. Then replace inductor with j omega L, capacitor with 1 by j omega C. And depending on the conditions, choose any one of the method and solve. Okay, so in this problem, nodal mesh in principle we can apply. I explained how to solve using mesh as well as nodal. If frequencies are different, compulsorily use only superposition principle. So this is a wonderful problem. Best model, it will tell you so many concepts. Now important theory. So I have given all these statements now, 6 statements. These 6 statements I will explain reverse order. So reverse order. This is the 5th statement. This one is 6th statement. So 5th, 6th statement. What is the summary? Summary. If frequencies are same. If frequencies are same, we can use superposition principle. We can use superposition principle for voltage, current, but not power. But if frequencies are different, we can use superposition principle for voltage, current, as well as power. Okay. So now you should know the reason why when frequencies are same, we are not using for power. When frequencies are different, we are using for power. So this clarity, you should know it. So you should understand this. So I will explain this with the help of example. So this is the summary of 5th and 6th. And why not here, why here, that clarity I am going to explain with the help of example. So what is the example is, I am taking one resistor, resistance of 2 ohms. I am sending a current I of t. So current I of t is like 3 sin 10t plus 4 cos 10t plus some angle, maybe 30 degrees. So this is the current passing through this resistor. Question is find power. Find power. This is the question. What is the power formula? Is I square R. What is this I must be RMS. So first we have to find RMS of this. But to find RMS, this frequency is 10, this frequency also 10. First combined using phasor form. So using phasor form, this is 3 angle 0 plus 4 angle of, convert cos into sine, 90 plus 30. So 120 degrees. 120 degrees. This convert, I mean combined using phasor form. 3 of 0 plus 4 of 120 combined using calculator. So you will get this is 3 plus 4 of 120. Four shift rectangular to polar 120. My calc is not working well, or I will give just you will get r of theta form. You will get r of theta form. Or you change, this is a phasor na, so 3 by root 2, 4 by root 2 RMS. 3 by root 2, 4 by root 2 RMS. So r of angle theta, this r is also RMS. Now what is the answer here? You get r square into resistance of 2. So many watts. So many watts will come. Now if frequencies are different, if frequencies are different, this frequency 10 and this frequency is 20. So what is IRMS now? IRMS now, when frequencies are different, we use only square root method na. So what is square root method? 3 square by 2 plus 4 square by 2. This is nothing but 5 by root 2. 5 by root 2 is RMS. So what is the power now? 5 by root 2 square into 2. So this answer is 2 cancel. You will get 25 watts. 25 watts. Now, after I combined, I got the RMS of 5 by root 2. So power answer is 25. If I use superposition principle, P is equal to P1 plus P2. What is P1? Power because of this only. That means 3 by root 2 square into 2 plus power because of second function. That is 4 by root 2 square into 2. So what is this answer? 2 cancel here, 9 plus 16. So you will get 25 watts. Using superposition, you got 25. Directly also you got 25. But when frequencies are same, here, what is the answer we got to this much? This answer is not equal to P1 plus P2. You check it later. This R value is not 5. This R is value is not 5. So not 5 by root 2. This R value is not 5 by root 2. If it is 5 by root 2, you will get 25. So using calc, you simplify, this R value is not equal to 5 by root 2. So therefore, this answer is not 25. So hence not equal to P1 plus P. So let me summarize. When frequencies are same, whatever answer you are getting directly, that is not equal to using superposition. When frequencies are different, combined, find RMS, find power, that answer is same as P1 plus P2. So when frequencies are same, you should not use superposition principle for power. Frequencies are different. Even if you use superposition principle, you will get the same answer. So what is the conclusion? If frequencies are different, directly you can do. Using superposition also you can do. If frequencies are same, directly only you have to do. Don't solve using superposition. That is the explanation and justification for fifth and sixth statement. Next, fourth statement is replace inductor with j omega L, capacitor with 1 by j omega C. Why it is like this? Why we are doing like this? So let's explain this with example. So resistor and inductor I am taking. and I am taking V, this V as e power uh, j omega t, e power minus j omega t I am taking. So e power minus j omega t contain what? It is like e power minus j theta cos theta, or otherwise you take plus. So e power j theta is cos theta plus j sin theta. So cos omega t plus j sin omega t. So this input source V contain cos function as well as sin function. So instead of taking cos and sin separately, I am taking e power j omega t. It contain hiddenly cos function and sin function. Now we need to find I of t. So what is the mesh equation? E power j omega t is equal to r into I of t plus L di by dt. It change into d form. So d plus r by L into I is equal to e power j omega t by L. So we want a steady state response now. Steady state response is nothing but only particular solution. Only particular solution. IP of t. So what is the particular solution with exponential? Always in the form of k e power j omega t. Particular solution will be always some constant k e power j omega t format. Complementary I am not doing. Complementary comes under transient, particular comes under steady state. So this constant k we can find by substituting here. So e power j omega t is equal to r into k e power j omega t plus L derivative. So what is the differentiation of this? A j omega e power j omega t. So this cancel. Solve for k. You will get 1 by r plus j omega L will come. K common na j omega L. This is k. Therefore, I of t is equal to e power j omega t divided by r plus j omega L. Now we want I of t, we got it. Now Z. Z is nothing but P of t by I of t. So what is the voltage applied? E power j omega t applied. What is the current we got? E power j omega t by r plus j omega L. This is current. So if you simplify, what you get? R plus j omega L. Therefore, Z is coming as R plus j omega L. Ohms is the Z value. So why I am doing this is the impedance. If I replace inductor with j omega L, what is the total impedance of the circuit? The total impedance of the circuit is simply R plus j omega L. Then current is nothing but voltage by impedance. Current is nothing but straight away voltage by impedance. You get this answer. Directly. So initially, we started writing equation in time domain. Then we assumed a particular solution. This equation substituted in original equation, solved for k, replace k with this, then you got the answer. Now we are thinking, is there any other way to get same answer? Yes. What is that other way? Replace L with j omega L. Total impedance is R plus, this is R plus j omega L. R plus j omega L. Current is nothing but voltage by impedance. So directly you are getting this answer. Na? Current is nothing but voltage by impedance. So straight away you are getting this answer. So there are two conditions, restrictions to apply this. What is the first restriction? Replace inductor with j omega L, capacitor with 1 by j omega S is valid under two conditions. First condition is source must be either cos or sine. Second condition is valid only in steady state analysis. So, replacing L with j omega L, C with minus j by omega C, valid first condition, with sine or cos waveforms. Second, valid in steady state only. Steady state only. So replacing inductor with j omega L means by default we are finding steady state response. Transient we don't do like that. So this process is valid with input sine or cos and steady state. So that's why steady state analysis only we do like this. So I have given proof with inductor. Similarly, if inductor is replaced with capacitor, write time domain equation and work out, you will get minus j by omega C. So this is the Z. Now, what is this one is a resistor. Then resistor units are ohms. And what is Z named as? Z is a impedance. Impedance. So impedance Z is there. That's why symbol Z is used to indicate impedance. When resistance units are ohm, then obviously impedance units also must be ohms. Then inductive reactance XL is j omega L ohms. Capacitive reactance XC minus j by omega C ohms. Then G is equal to 1 by R. Conductance. Conductance. Conductance units are ohms. Then reciprocal of impedance is Y. Y is 1 by Z. It is admittance. Admittance. Admit. So admit letter Y. If you want to fill the bottle with milk, we use funnel. So that shape is like a Y, and using this Y shape, you can fill the bottle with milk. So that's why they used letter Y for admittance. And 1 by Z, reciprocal of impedance is admittance. This unit is also Mohs. Reciprocal of reactance, 1 by X. Reciprocal of reactance is susceptance. Susceptance units also either Siemens or Mohs. So we can write Z as R plus or minus Jx, and we can write Y as G plus or minus J. Yes. Okay. So Y is expressed like this, Z is expressed like this. So in this topic only we got the J notation. The J notation originated here, e power j omega t. The J is reflecting everywhere. So entire subject wherever J we are using, that came from this source. Next, to convert all sources into phasor. Why we are converting all sources into phasor form? Signal is characterized with amplitude, frequency, phase. Signal is characterized with amplitude, frequency, phase. So frequencies are same. Frequencies are same. So it will have a different amplitudes, different phases. So always express in the form of R of angle theta. Source frequency anyway same. So temporarily we are hiding, considering amplitude value and phase. Do the analysis. Again at the end attach sine function, sine or cos, whatever it is. Omega t again plus or minus theta. So this trigonometric form change into phasor, frequency is hidden, do the analysis, get the end answer. That answer convert again back to trigonometric form by attaching sine or sine or cos, whatever it is, and frequency. So that is the secret of phasor form. That is the reason why we are converting all sources into phasor form. Then see that all sources are in same form, either sine or cos, and see that all sources are having same frequency. See that all sources are having same frequency. So why we are checking all are having same frequency? So if all are having same frequency, we can apply second, third, fourth, fifth. If frequencies are different, straight away jump to sixth step and do it. So this is the explanation, justification why we are doing like this. So fifth, sixth explanation or justification given with the help of numerical example, and fourth one j omega L 1 by j omega C. Proof derivation also given, and this also explained phasor form Y and sine and cos. Simple reason, all frequencies, all sources are having same frequency. So these are the important steps you should know. But only important is this fourth is valid with sinusoidal only. If there is a triangular wave or a sawtooth waveform or a square wave, you can't do like this. So that is important precaution. So this completes the theory part. So first I have taken a big problem, statements given, explained how to apply them. Second, those statements with justification I have given. Now next, these problems will discuss next class. So next class only problems. So those problems will study next class. Theory part I finished. Theory part explained with the help of one big problem.